Welcome to Neurodivergent Pulse, where we explore the often misunderstood world of neurodivergence with experts, parents, teachers, and therapists. Grounded in lived experience, each bite-sized episode gives you something practical to try. I am your host, Laetitia, AI expert, neurodivergent mom and founder of Understanding Zoe. This podcast is recorded on Daryl country. I acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. It always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Welcome to the Neurodivergent Pulse, Clement.
Awesome to be here. Thanks, Laetitia.
You're welcome. I love that today we're going to talk about being bipolar and what does it mean. So thank you for taking the time to share about this, because there is lots of misunderstanding about being bipolar and what it means. So before we get into this topic and this podcast, I would love for you to share with us what led you to focus on raising awareness about bipolarity and anything you'd like to share with our listener as an introduction.
Of course. So quick background, so business school, startups. So the first one, it went really well actually. It's doing a few million each year, but I got depressed and then I sold my shares. The second one, I went bankrupt and I was in the up phase. So I started the company with someone I didn't know in Tokyo. The next week we had 3 persons in Seoul. And we went from 0 to 13, profitable, almost profitable. We were losing like $200 a month. And then I got depressed and I finally got diagnosed. And it was really a tough moment, but also I was really relieved. I really understood why I had those up and down. And I just started to work for another company, which is not mine, because I wanted to settle down.
Yeah.
And after a few years, I really want to work on this problem because it was a problem I wanted to fix. I wanted to fix it for me, but not only for me. And it was really what I had in my heart to be like, okay, how do we do things in a better way?
Yes.
Because I was so frustrated. So everything that I've been through, and I was like, how is it possible that something this important is not taken care of in a proper way?
Yes.
So that's what led to HopeStage, basically.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and, as you said, the ups and downs and creating HopeStage and raising awareness around bipolar. It's such an important topic. So today, for anyone who is listening to this and they're not really familiar with what is bipolarity, what does it mean to be bipolar, would you like to share in your own word what it is and how it feels on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. So bipolar is, so some people say it's a psychological disorder. I usually like to say it's more like something which is a chemical problem. So it can lead to up or down, so the two pole. So up is called the manic phase, where you have too many. It's usually dopamine, but it could be other chemical. But your brain is sending too much, and then it's kind of a euphoria. You have like too much high. You're too confident. You usually don't sleep. It's like being on coke a little bit. If you can see it in movie, you speak too fast. And on the other way around, you have depression, which is the other pole, and then it's like you don't have dopamine anymore, so your brain is not sending dopamine. And then it's the total opposite, so people know depression a bit more, so you're not going to be able to be confident, you're usually going to have anxiety aside it, you're going to sleep either too much or too little, and you have this sort of dark way of seeing things, and everything is more difficult and you have more fatigue, you don't have energy. So it's the two pole, and of course you have the middle ground, which is stability, and you can achieve that, and most people do, but we always talk about the one who don't.
Yes, which is something that I wanted us to debunk today around the myth of being bipolar and
what it is. So would you like to share with us the biggest misconceptions or the biggest myth that you've witnessed when you disclose you're bipolar, or when you share about being bipolar, when you hear someone sharing themselves that they're bipolar and you witness in someone else a misconception and the biases emerging from that?
I guess the most common mistake is to confuse borderline with bipolar.
Yes, good one. Yeah.
And it's like the length of the phases. So when you're bipolar, it's usually like at least a few weeks. So and the fact that it's gonna last. So the phase, and sometimes borderline is more like quick phases if I simplify a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's one misconception. And also, like, bipolarity, there's different type of bipolarity, and some people, when they feel a little bit like depressed, they don't differentiate what is feeling depressed and having a depression. And it's really like misconception, and so feeling depressed is usually a few days and it's not feeling good. But if you have external support and you, for example, do some sport, most of the time you will get through it. Having a depression, it means that it at least 2 weeks and you need medical support at this point, and you cannot fix it with like sport. So I would say those are the big misconceptions.
Thank you for sharing that. And for for yourself or anyone that you've witnessed through your support with HopeStage, what are strategies, approaches, tips that you can give to someone who is bipolar, or who is supporting a child with bipolar, supporting an adult with bipolar, supporting a partner? Like, what tend to help, or what helps you, if you want to come from a lived experience, but what have you seen working for yourself or working for other people around you?
So we'll first answer like, what can you do as bipolar?
Yeah.
So everybody's different, and everybody has this bipolar. So I'm bipolar type 2. Clement, and you won't have the same thing as me, but as a whole, it's really about like a different stage. So it's actually the stage of hope. It's how we call HopeStage. So it's about understanding. So what do you have? What are your triggers? What happened? And really become experts of what it is. Then it's about accepting, which is like, okay, I'm different. So I'm neurodivergent. And because I'm different, I have different needs, and I cannot do things the same way as other people.
Yes.
So I have addictive behavior. So we, as bipolar, we are 4 times more addicted to drugs than other people. So we cannot like take drugs or alcohol in the same way. We have sleep issue, but we also have a lot of emotions. We are emotional, and so it's really about like, okay, I'm different. I cannot do the same thing as my friend, and I need to basically accept to tell other people to ask for help, most of the time to take a treatment, and to take care about my sleep, this type of thing. Yeah. And it's about getting support. So getting support is like, for me, I'm lucky, so I have a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and a peer helper. So it's really like building the team around yourself so you can like basically find your path to stability. And so when you do all of that, it's fine. It's really fine.
I love it.
And if you go back as being a parent, this is another story, and it's about like taking care of yourself before helping others. That's the most important. You cannot help if you're not like good with yourself. And it's really about helping the person going through the stage and not doing it for him, which is difficult because you want him to be like, oh, okay, just take this bottle of like, and no, it will take time. Acceptance takes time. And so the way we see acceptance doing really well is like talking group, online community, and like psychoeducation, which is like training for bipolar people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we do, and we have really good data showing that it helps about acceptance. But if there's one thing is like, how can you put your son or daughter or like in an environment where it's gonna will to accept, I would say it's like, yeah, there's one thing.
Thank you. So we talked about this before the podcast around the stigma that being bipolar, your experience as being bipolar, and lots of people will not disclose that they are bipolar. Would you mind sharing how do you go about that? What is, from your lived experience, ways to disclose it without facing too much of this stigma? Like, any tips for anyone who is listening to this and being like, oh, I don't know how to disclose it, I don't know if it is safe to disclose it, I don't know if it is safe to disclose that my teenager is bipolar, or whatever is their situation from your own experience, and also, of course, running HopeStage and having helped thousands of people through that.
So it's really a personal question, first
Yeah.
of all. It's like, who do I want to share it with?
Yes.
You don't need to share it with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So is a person someone who is willing to listen, who is willing to understand? Do you want to have a deep relationship with this person? It could be work, it could be a friend, but is it kind of worth it to do it?
Yes.
Because we have this amount of energy, where do we want to spend it? So, okay, do I want to do it with this person? Then how do I want to do it? Everybody is different, but what I feel works the most is like really doing one-on-one in person and to ask questions. So, hey, do you know what is bipolar? I usually like ask with that, because then the person you can see is starting to be like, okay, where is it going? And you can have the time, and you can just, and it's really about like first help them understand it, and because then it's going to be easy for them to accept. It's always the same stage.
Yeah, the same stage of hope. Yeah. Understanding, acceptance, and then getting help.
Support.
Yeah.
And the same thing for them when they are listening to you, because they need to understand, they need to accept that you're different, and then they need to get support themselves. Because to support you, they're gonna need to support themselves.
Yes.
And most of the time in this period of like when it could be tough, they maybe will need to see a psychologist themselves, for example.
Yes. Thank you. It's so simple when you explain it in this way. So, I'm a geek. I love data and AI and all of that. So I'm going to ask you, based on your length of experience running first HopeStage in France, and now you moved to Australia a few months ago, what have you seen in the experience of the people that you've supported? You can share, how many people you've supported and so on, but like, what have you seen as trends or, elements of shift in society, like whatever you'd like to share from this length of experience that you had in the space as an advocate in France and as someone who's done really great work in France, and now we're lucky that you move down under in Australia and you're here to help Australian really be supported as bipolar. So what would you like to share in terms of the data, in terms of the learning, in terms of being there from lived experience, but also from advocating for the community?
I would say it's like we are responsible as bipolar, and it's a tough thing to say because I know there's this movement of being like, oh, it's not our fault, society need to help us. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying that society is what it is, and it's not perfect, and it's not doing the way it's supposed to work. But we can basically do a lot ourselves. And I think it's like really asking yourself the question, like, do you want to spend your life feeling like a victim and complaining about how society is not doing the proper thing? Or do you want to take the power that you have and make it work for yourself. And that's what I would say is the most important. And of course, there's a lot of great things to help you achieve that. Understanding is always part of it because it really helps like sharing and talking about it. And technology can help a lot. But at the end of the day, it's like, what do you want to do for yourself and how do you want to use the tools that are now available? Psychiatry, I would say, is kind of the stone age, to be honest. I feel the technique and the way it's done, it's like sometimes I feel like, come on guys, you cannot give me something which is like 50 years ago, 100 years ago. And we need to change that, and it's why we're here, because we have a lot of new possibility. I've used AI a little bit myself as like therapy. I would say that I'm not perfectly happy, but I think there's a way here. And if I want to share my vision of the future, I feel like it's really about connecting the dot and connecting all the resources we have, and basically to be able to personalize all the paths for everyone. So right now, most of us, we don't have the money to have our personalized path, so we'll go through the same path as anyone. But if we gather the right data and maybe give it to our kind of AI companion, then we can personalize the path, and I feel like for the psychiatrists are having better data, giving better treatment. For the psychologists, knowing where to intervene and maybe when to get a meeting faster is like, it's all about that. And it's gonna be really cool because I think we're gonna pin the system and be, hey, maybe we live in 2025, let's do something about it.
Yeah, and this is exactly what understanding Zoe does, right? Connecting all the dots and having this personalized access to the right information with the support of all of the support teams that you have around you, so that it's not AI hallucinating, it's in a controlled and specialized space. I like what you said around this greater understanding of self, give you this agency and this ability to advocate. But at the same time, I really embrace the social model of disability, saying that it's societies that decide who is disordered and who is ordered. And it's not because you're not behaving like the 80% that you're necessarily disordered, you're just doing it in a different way. So who gets to decide what the right or the wrong way? So yeah, it's a very interesting debate here. In terms of your vision and for the future, if you had like one message for policymaker, educators, bipolar workplaces, whichever you pick, and you can pick many, about supporting bipolar, what would it be?
It's really like a little bit the same as you say. Is I feel education is the main thing. It's really like we need to learn, we need to know that. I would say it's normal. Like it's just being different, and we accepted that everybody's different, so why not go a step further? And because at the end of the day, it would be so boring if everybody was the same.
Yes.
Can you imagine a society where there's like not that many artists or great engineer, but also without like, it would be so boring. So really educating the new generation, which is done quite well. I feel like they're seeing things in a different way, that it's fine, and we don't have to look at someone and tell them to do it the same way. You can do it in a different way. And just like, I think at school, I talk about it with the minister in France, and was really like, can you at least give the possibility to teacher to learn about those things, and to create courses for volunteer teacher to really be able to know. And then at school, in class, they can actually teach the new generation. And then in 20 years, it will change everything.
That's so true. That's so true. Thank you for sharing that. So now more a personal fire question. What is one small and simple practice that supports you personally as bipolar?
I would say is like trying to sleep better.
Yeah.
It's like the most difficult part, and I'm still struggling. But it's like building a system to help me sleep. And for me, is like I don't take any substance. So when I talk about substance, I'm talking also about coffee, I'm talking also about alcohol, because it affects me much more than others.
Yeah.
So it really depends. Maybe it's not your thing. And it's about having all this little technique. For example, like sleeping mask. It's so underrated. Most people don't do it.
I do. I have a sleep mask. I can't sleep without a sleep mask.
It's so great. And even if you sleep well, you're actually going to sleep better.
Yeah, for me it's just the lights. I'm very light sensitive, so at night I just need zero light.
But everybody is light sensitive.
Yeah.
It's like just some people just live their whole life not doing it.
Yeah.
And maybe they can sleep better, which is, and same thing, so hair plug, depending on where you live. Having like those breathing exercise to get to bed, or even if you wake up, when you wake up, to get out of bed and go writing, for me is really what helped me to put my thought somewhere, and not being afraid to take medicines. When I think things is not good, then I'm like, okay, no worry. I take it for maybe 2 to 3 days, and then I fix my sleep, and I don't let my sleep go too wide.
Yeah.
Because I know because I'm bipolar, I know they can start a phase.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So for anyone who is listening to this today and they want to find out more about you, about your work with HopeStage, how can they connect with you?
My email is quite easy. So it's my first name, Clement, at HopeStage.com. And just on LinkedIn, also wherever you want, and I'd be happy to help.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Clement.
Welcome to the Neurodivergent Pulse podcast. It's time for our quick pulse with Zoe, our special guest. So Zoe, what helps you find calm again when you have lots of emotions moving through your body?
I use a food kit and I ask for some help.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Zoe. And why do you think understanding your own feelings and asking for help, can help you?
Because it makes me calm and relaxed, and it helps me reset my mind.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Zoe, for joining us for a quick pulse check on the Neurodivergent Pulse podcast. That's a wrap for Neurodivergent Pulse. If this helped, follow the show and leave us a quick review on your favorite platform. You can even share this episode with someone who needs it. You can learn more about our platform at understandingzoe.com. Thanks for listening.